Welcome to another episode of the, I'm sitting low in my chair. Welcome to another episode of the One-on-One podcast. My name is Josh. I am joined by Kathy and Ryan. We're starting to do something new here because I feel like we're running out of ideas as far as banter. So I'm just asking Ryan and Kathy and then our guests random questions. And so my question today, and I apologize to our guests because this is inevitably going to probably take up the entire majority of the podcast.
Oh no.
And I think I already know both your answers. Kathy and Ryan, LeBron or Jordan?
Oh, Kathy, you go first, but I feel like we
just gonna zoom in on Kathy's face.
I mean, there's the GOAT and then there's the Billy Goat. I'm Michael Jordan.
I know
all
you
over
are.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan because of Scottie Pippen, and he's very, you know, you can't have his career without having the guy beside you that's number one in assist. So
I have a lot I want to say about that, but I don't know if I feel like we only have a limited amount of time.
No, we can't. But I'm in the same boat as Kathy.
Yeah, I am
like
too.
I mean, I am a Lakers fan, but like I grew up.
Yeah.
Like that was the first team that I started watching.
Yeah. I think I kind of knew all of our answers. I almost just wanted to see Kathy's reaction and I got it. So that was worth it. Dustin Sherlin, who has joined us before, we had him on a couple episodes ago, and it was right around the start of the NAR settlement. And we brought Dustin on to kind of get his 2 cents on kind of what was everything that was happening in the industry. And it was a very good episode, great piece of content. And so we wanted to bring him back to pick his brain some more. So for those that did not watch our last episode with Dustin Sherlin, he is our broker owner of Realty ONE Group Experts out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And so Dustin, before we, pick that big real estate brain of yours, LeBron or Jordan. And if you say LeBron, like we'll probably just cut the episode right here.
Yeah, I'd have to stay with Jordan.
Okay.
So it was the era that I watched a little bit of basketball. Plus, he's from North Carolina, isn't he?
Yeah. That's why I wanted Kathy's reaction. But Dustin, thank you for joining us. We have brought you on for a number of reasons. We want to talk about the sphere of influence. And so I know you're just really good with your brand there in Tennessee. And so we love just asking you the questions because you lead with change. You are not frightened by what's happening. You are, Mike Clear, our COO, loves the lead with calm phrase. And I feel like you're also such a good example of that. But in particular today, we kind of want to talk about sphere of influence.
Right. So where do we want to begin with that? So
go ahead, Kathy.
well, I think so many people, Dustin, come into this industry and think, oh, it's so easy. I just show up. I think DIY has slanted people about what real estate really is. And I would love for you to talk about your success and you're leading the market that you're in personally, not only as a business owner, but personally in your production by development of relationship and what that looks like and everything around not only securing leads through people that you know and trust and that trust you, but also how do you consistently build a business, sustain a business through developing and servicing your sphere of influence?
Okay. So, and that's such a great topic because we do see a lot of agents get in the business and they get one lead, then they chase it down and then they sell that one and then they move to the next one. So, and they're never building that book of business. So, it's the number one pillar that we start with putting everybody's, their database, the people that they know, the people that's in their cell phone into a CRM like OneSuite and use it to leverage ourselves with the technology, but growing that database everywhere we meet. And Melissa does a really good class about not to be a secret agent, to tell everybody that you are, a real estate agent, no matter where you're at, because you can always meet people to add them into your database. And then it's using that technology to stay in front of them because they run across people that we don't know. So you're constantly building that book of business and the people that know and like and will refer you business down the road.
So what I hear you saying is, although that person in your sphere of influence may not be interested in a real estate transaction, they may know someone who is. And by staying top of mind, you're constantly, your name's out there.
Absolutely. Because I mean, that's like hiring a bunch of other little salespeople for you. So when they're in conversation and they hear somebody else talking about, hey, they're in the market to buy or sell real estate, then they're going to refer them to you. So you're building with your database, you're building, a bunch of little salespeople to help boost your business up too. That's the way we look at it. And we want to stay top of mind and educate them about what's going on in the market. And that goes into our plan of what we do to stay in front of them, giving them different content month after month.
It's interesting with Josh as our writer and Ryan as our video specialist. We are all about storytelling. Mm-hmm. And what I hear you saying is your job and our job to consistently work that sphere of influence is to be a good storyteller to the point that we build story stewards. So not only are we telling the story, but we have people out telling our story for us. So could you talk a little bit about, I love that you're putting it in a CRM. I love that it's kind of a set it and forget it, that you can drip to people and do everything. Can you talk about maybe what messaging you send, how often you send it? And then most importantly, Josh, that follow-up. We talk with a lot of our guests about the need for follow-up. So if you can speak to that, that'd be wonderful.
Before you answer, Dustin, I also want to ask from my perspective when I'm putting together like our recruiting campaigns, for example, I want to hear about the follow-up, but I also want to hear about the introduction. What's your first, what are your first 10 words to the person?
So it depends on where we meet them at, because I mean, we meet people when we go to the store, we meet people at networking events, no matter where you're at. So naturally the conversation happens. They ask what you do for a living. Sure.
Yeah.
And, or if they don't ask that, then, you bring that up, I sell real estate for a living. And by the way, and I always ask, would they get that permission-based newsletter going out, asking them, we put out good content from our brokerage just to keep you in the loop of what's happening in the real estate market.
Totally.
And all of Realty ONE Group agents have access to their OneSuite and those monthly market reports that they can send out, and it's branded to you. So offering that for free, telling them we're never spam you or anything like that, but just information about the real estate market to keep them in the loop of what's going on. That's the basic introduction when we're talking. And when that conversation comes up, what do you do for a living? And tell them I'm a realtor and ask them for permission to keep them in the loop of everything.
Yeah. I love that. And so to Kathy's question, the follow-up then.
The follow-up, well, we continue once we get somebody in the database, and it's, we do video, email, do 1 minute and a half, just educational content going out to the public, either whether it's market updates or how to deal with multiple offers, how to, buy in a low inventory market. So we want to put valuable information out there. And in everything that we do, we always have a call to action where they can go search the MLS, with a link. Click on a link to get their home value. And of course, where they can share that information with their friends and family members that we may not know yet. So we want to have the call to action to lead everybody in there. But not only the education, which we do 2 a month, we'll do monthly mailers for the holidays because there's a holiday every month, right? So, telling them, happy Valentine's Day, whatever it is. March is St. Patrick's Day. But then on the back, we have a little brand, but also the call to actions on our postcards that we send out. They're getting the monthly market reports monthly. And then we just do a quarterly call. So we're only calling them 4 times a year. Mm-hmm. So I know that's where a lot of agents, they don't want to call. They don't know what to say, but they're friends. We treat them like that. So call them, checking on their, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. The whole FORD thing acronym to getting to know somebody, because that's what people want to talk about is what their family and occupation, recreation, dreams. So continuing to along that, and then asking them, to do. And one thing I coach agents to do is always ask, not really necessarily for you to, give me a referral or for you to buy and sell right now, but hey, just do me a personal favor. If you know of anybody that's looking to buy or sell, will you contact me and give me their contact information? That way I'm not dependent on somebody else calling me.
It's a great point that you just brought up, because you really emphasize, which I love, especially from our marketing standpoint, that you always have a call to action in any piece of marketing material that you guys put out. But also from your agent's perspective, they have to have a call to action when they're speaking to a client on the phone, right? Like they cannot hang up that phone call with, okay, which one of your family members is looking to buy or sell a home, or neighbor or whoever. And I just think that's what drives momentum, especially during times right now where, it's tough out there for some agents. And so I think that you have kind of instilled the foundation in your office, which when things straighten themselves out, they will have already, built the foundation. And I think that that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
What I love about your message, and the reason we're so proud to have Dustin as one of our Realty ONE Group 1.U coaches, is because he's got the secret to success is consistency, but also what I'm hearing is email, direct mail, video, phone call. You're reaching out in every one of those channels to build value. I'm hearing such richness in what you're saying. And I want to make sure that our listeners are paying attention to the dimensions at which you're touching people, because that's the key to success, is to make sure that you're reaching out in different ways. And then Josh, to your point, there's always that call to action.
Yeah. And I think, Dustin, I know that you do all of these different reach outs because they all work in their own right, but have you found, some of them have different results than others, or is it depends on the market, the client,
It can vary from market conditions and all that, but I would say the biggest thing that we get, response on is our video emails.
Okay.
The email campaigns giving, educational content out. Because I've had people come in the office and, when people see you on TV, they think you're a star or whatever. So they walk in the office and you've already got that presence when you meet them.
Yep.
So it's one of those things that stood out far beyond some of the other ones. The other ones are good. I mean, it is like Kathy said, it's that mix. You got to meet them where they're at.
Sure.
And we don't know for sure, but hitting them in those different directions, we're going to meet them where they're at in the market.
Yeah. I think, Kathy, remember we had Paul Ekstrom on a few episodes ago, and I think he said something like he was doing, 5 episodes creating 5 videos a day, 3 days a week, or something absurd. But it made me so happy that our network is seeing that marketing is constantly changing. And right now, what so many people are looking for is video content, and not just video content, user-generated video content. And it sounds like you guys have really, really nailed that down, which is super cool.
How hard was that? What did you have to do? Because so many people they say, I don't like how I look, and I don't like how I sound. So how do you overcome that?
I still haven't.
I never listen.
Same,
I've never
Kathy,
listened or watched.
I hope this podcast is good, because I don't listen to it. I just hope that
I don't watch them either. I don't. I do, but I don't watch.
I'm a little hurt by
I listen, but I don't watch.
But that's okay.
And I think that's the perfect. I mean, we can't be perfect out there. None of us are perfect, and none of us like the way we sound or anything like that. So if you just don't watch it. Have somebody else. Yeah. And when I first started, Melissa used to watch the videos and work with that part, because I didn't want to hear it, because then, you get that. So have somebody that's close to you, watch it, make sure you don't say something that you shouldn't say, or do something, but let somebody else do that part of it. And that's the only way to get over it is, you got to get out there and do it, but know that it's not perfect, because even if you practice and it is perfect, or edit so much, then people are going to know that it's fake.
And so that's exactly the point I was going to make, is you almost want it to be, it's kind of like, Kathy, when we started this podcast, like we didn't want it to be scripted, because you want it to feel authentic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we want people to say, gosh, they're human. They're like me. Mm-hmm. And there is no perfection in life. So we all know that.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? So Dustin, like I want to kind of stay on the video subject. How are you, like, just for others that want to kind of go down this same road, how are you recording? Are you Is it from an iPhone? Do you have a DSLR camera? Are you using your laptop? Like what, give us the quick bird's eye view of how you are producing this.
So when we first started, it was very simple. We just had a little Logitech camera, put it into a Zoom or something like that, or we would shoot them on cell phones. Mm-hmm. So as we, have gotten a little bit more into it, of course, we've upgraded some of that material or some of that hardware. But, start with what you have. Don't go invest a ton of money into it. Just start doing it to get it out there. Yeah. And then as you get more comfortable and do more research, then you're going to find those little things that may help with the video, make it look a little better, things like that. So, but we started with, what we had, whether it's a cell phone and all that.
You brought up a good, I read this quote a couple days ago that, and Kathy, I think it's a very Kathyism. It said, confidence is about predictability. And what you just said kind of reminded me of that is, the more you do something, the more the more confident you become in something. And even with, I'll use my own story. When we did episode 1 of this podcast, I'm sure you guys saw that my face was red as a cherry. And as we continue to do it, I get more comfortable and I get more confident in it. And so I think for you, Dustin, I'm sure that's the same with, creating these videos and just continuing to build your sphere of influence. The more you wake up and do it every day, the more confident and better you become at it.
Absolutely. And the first videos that I did years ago, they're still out there. Yeah. I still haven't watched them, but they're still out there. And you can watch some people from, when they first start, and you can see the comfort level when they get a little more confident in what they're doing and the material that they're presenting. I mean, it just becomes a little bit easier. I'd say it's never easy. It hasn't become easy for me, but I know some people are naturals on camera. And then sometimes it just takes us just continuing to do it over and over.
I think both of you have a huge advantage because you have very charming Southern drawls, and I don't sound like a Southern Valley girl like me. So, okay, Dustin, I want to ask before we let you go, what's next for Realty ONE Group Experts? What's next for Dustin? How do you see the rest of the year play out, and then the next couple years in the industry?
So that's a good question. So, I mean, naturally, we're going to continue to grow. I think in a shifting market, in a down market, this is always the time to take market share. We've always grown throughout the real estate cycles. When they're down, we, go to our systems and we continue to follow those, stay consistent with that. I know Kathy said that a minute ago, systematize everything we can so we can stay in front of a lot more people. That's what we're going to continue to do, is just become more consistent, stay in front of as many people as we can. Our agents are still doing good. It's just keeping ahead of the shift and the mindset really in today's market. There's so much derogatory things being said, whether it's media, other real estate agents. So staying away from that, staying positive, but focus on our business, and we're going to grow. So grow in our personal business, in the brokerage business, and gain market share as we shift.
I love the confidence. I think yeah. Kathy, do you have any commentary off of that?
Just a great example of leading with calm. And that's what's, that's why people want to work at Experts. Mm-hmm. And I want to give a special shout out to Dustin's partner in business, in life, maybe a little bit in crime, and that's Melissa, because they make an exceptional partnership and they hold each other accountable. And that's a lot of success too, is that accountability.
Totally.
Absolutely. And I couldn't be here without her, and she knows that too. So it's just, having that partner that can edit videos, can see you when it's hard, but it's, working together, and finding that accountability partner is huge as we're going through this shifting market. And that's something that everybody needs to do, is find that accountability partner, whether it's somebody in your local office or, coaching. It's always here to, reach out and have that accountability too. So Melissa actually told me before this that the offer, we do have a 60-touch system that we implement in our business, and our agents have access and our coaching students have access. She told me to if it's okay, that there's a website out there that anybody that wants to go, they can go grab that. There's no cost or anything like that. They can also set up a coaching call, and we'll help them implement that database and referral-based marketing platform.
Give us the website.
Yeah.
So it's going to be rogexperts.com/SOI.
Say it one more time.
ROGexperts with an S.com/SOI for Sphere of Influence. So
cool. That's amazing. Seriously, that's really cool. And Dustin, thank you so much for just, like Kathy said, leading with calm, continuing to bring success to this network. We really, really, really appreciate you, and for joining us. Like we want to have you back on for many more episodes. It's great content. It really is.
Absolutely. I love being here.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
See you soon.
We thank you for joining us today on another episode of One on One, a Realty ONE Group podcast. We are powered by One.U and ask if you have suggestions, recommendations, or questions, please email learning@realtyonegroup.com. And remember, pay close attention to the details, listen to understand, not respond, and always be a resource, not a sales pitch.